everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Alex and on my channel I talk about everything related to finance, whether that's saving money, making money, paying off debt and investing. On this particular video I am going to be covering a few different things actually. I want to talk to you about my debt and my progress that I've made with that so far. I wanted to talk to you about some ways that I've made some additional money this month, or well, over the past few months really. And I also wanted to talk to you today about sinking funds. So the first thing I probably should talk to you about is a few things that have cropped up financially over the past week. The first one is I have just come back from my car MOT and I am pleased to say that it passed. Thank God, because if you've watched my previous videos you'll know that I've had a few expenses with the car lately, whether that be brakes or a new battery. And I suppose that sort of leads me on to talking about sinking funds. But first of all, I'll sort of explain about the car. So if you're not from the UK, you might not be familiar, we have to have, for any cars that are over 3 years old, I believe, we have to have a car MOT. And I think once the car gets over 25 years old, it becomes exempt, something like that. But anyway, my car's 10 years old, so it has to have an MOT. And it is basically just a safety test. And you have to have that done every year. If it fails, if you had, sorry, the cat is probably going to keep talking. This is Tiggy, by the way. I think I have introduced her in another video. She is quite elderly. She's 17 now. She's a bit of an attention seeker, so she probably will meow, and I do apologise for that. But she is quite vocal. I'll just keep stroking her and hopefully that'll keep her quiet. Yeah, so I think you can have the MOT done up to a month beforehand, and if it does fail you can have it done and retested for free. I think it's within 7 days if you have like the repairs done. And it just tests simple things like your emissions, whether you've got screen wash in your car, whether your tyres, you know, they're not bowled, whether your brakes work. Like, it is meant to be just like a standard safety check really. And some things, like, you'll know whether you've got issues with, like, you can sort of see if your tyres are below the legal limit, and I think in the UK it's something like 1.6 millimeters of tread. Thankfully my car did pass, but I do have some advisories. So my advisories on immediate fixes that need to happen, but they will need to happen before, well, probably by the summer. They've said that I've got about 3,000 to 4,000 miles left on my brakes, and the same with my front tyres. So my car is a front wheel drive, so it will wear out quicker on the front. So I will need a sinking fund for that. And a sinking fund is, if you're not familiar with the term, is like a pot of money that you save up for expenses that you know that are going to be coming up. So like car maintenance will be one that I will be setting up. The second thing that's happened is, I think I mentioned on a previous video that I was going to be going to a dentist. I hadn't been to a dentist in my new town since I moved here. I had been going back to my old town to the dentist, but I thought I'll try out a new dentist so that I have to keep paying the travel costs. And also in my old town the parking charges are extortionate. Like, I'm talking nearly like London prices, and I don't live anywhere near London. I mean, we're talking like £8 to £10 to park in the town, and yeah, the town is becoming a ghost town because of it, I think, is some of the reason. But anyway, that's a completely separate topic. So yeah, I thought I'd try one local to me. I was on like a dental treatment plan with my previous dentist, where you pay like a monthly fee, and that would cover your dental checkups. So I think you get 2 checkups a year and then 2 hygienist appointments a year. And then you'd also get a discount off of any treatment that you may potentially need. And last time I went to a dentist, my dentist did point out that I have got, on this side of my mouth, one of my teeth has got a hairline fracture in it. And they checked it over for me. I wasn't aware of it at the time. There was no pain or anything. I had x-rays, there was no infection. It wasn't technically a cavity, so they said leave it. So, and that's fine. But in recent months, I have started to feel like a weakness there. Mainly when I eat on that side of my mouth or when I brush my teeth. So I thought, and I'd mentioned it to this new dentist, and they did all the x-rays and stuff, and yeah, they found that they found that I've obviously got the hairline fracture, and they said, yeah, if I hadn't mentioned that it was starting to cause me an issue, they probably wouldn't have recommended any treatment, but they have said that I can have a filling in that tooth. So I think what they'll do is they'll shave down the tooth and then fill it. But they said, like, if I didn't have any treatment, it could eventually get infected, and I could then need either an extraction or a root canal, so which gets very expensive. So I paid up front for the dental check, and usually it's £95, but because I had like a flyer come through my door, so I took advantage of that. It had like a discount on it, so it was £65 for the checkup and like all the x-rays and stuff. And they said to join their plan, I basically had to pay up front for the hygienist, or had to pay like a fee towards the hygienist. It's not until March, but to join the plan. I could have joined in February, but they didn't actually have any appointments in February, so that's why everything's happening in March. So the treatment plan starts from March, but I have paid up front for this. So I had to pay up front for the hygienist, and I had to pay a little bit towards the filling up front as well. So far I've paid £194, and I believe what I'll have left to pay is £220. So I'm going to be setting myself up a sinking fund for that. I have recently taken advantage of Sharon's on living on a low income. She often mentions Monzo. They have got it's like an online bank. She had a link to like a referral link. If you sign up using the referral link, you get some money and she gets some money. So I used that, signed myself up, because she'd mentioned before that you can make like sinking fund pots. I think Monzo actually calls it sinking funds on their app. So I have now signed up. I've activated the card, so I got £10. So hopefully Sharon's got her £10 as well. So I have set myself up some sinking funds, and I'll tell you what those are. So I have got a sinking fund for the dentist, and that's £200. I'm hoping that after my treatment in March, because they have thoroughly like examined me, x-rayed me, etc., and there's no other issues at the moment, I'm hoping that I probably won't need that one in future. But because I'm on their treatment plan now, like my hygienist and appointments are going to be covered, so I'm hoping that £200, like I said, I've got £200 set aside. I think I've still got £220 to pay, but it's not till March, so I'm hoping I can put £20 in March, and then that'll be that covered. I have set one up for my car. So I think in a previous video I have mentioned to you that I've got a Nationwide account, and that is for, I'd set that up, and I think the interest payment on it is something like 6.5%, which is quite a lot of interest to pay, that for a bank to pay out at the moment, because a lot of banks have been reducing their interest. So with Nationwide, sorry, I'm here, there and everywhere, but this is how my brain is thinking about it. With the Nationwide, you get £100 every year from them if you meet certain criteria, and I believe that's to have £100 in a savings account with them and to have a debit card with them. I think you have to have 2 active direct debits, and you have to pay a certain amount in each month. I might be wrong on that part. But anyway, if you meet the criteria, and I think you have to have the money in the savings account by March. So if you're seeing this now, hopefully that gives you a little bit of time to get some money in the savings account, so you would benefit from that. And I think they call it like the Fairer Share scheme, and the past few years at least they've paid out £100 to their members. So Nationwide is a building society, not a bank, so technically the people that have building society accounts are members. So if the building society is making a profit, then it's only right that they reward their members, and I think that's basically what the Fair Share payment is about. I think also if you have a mortgage with them, you may also qualify for that too. So like I said, I've set up this, I've had this account, I think I mentioned it before. It matures every year. I roll it over and set myself up a new one each year, and I pay £25 a month into there. So I usually roll over the amount that is in there to the new account. You can pay, I think, £200 in a month. I mean, I don't have enough money to do that, unfortunately. But this particular account, I do save up my car insurance. So last August, the car insurance, I think, for mine and my partner's cars was roughly £500-ish. Although we did have 3 vehicles, so I'm not sure whether it'll be that much. He had a van and his own car, and then I have my car insured, and we had it all with the same company. He's got rid of his van because he's now in employment and gets a van with his job currently. So I'm hoping that £500 will be enough for that payment. And with Nationwide, you can withdraw 3 times. I think if you withdraw 4th time, you then get a reduced interest payment. So you'd go from 6.5% down to like 1%, something like that. So that's what that is. And then I've got my emergency fund of £1,000 with Lloyds. So, and I've mentioned it a few times, Lloyds, I've got the Club Lloyds account and I've got a savings account with them. And I believe you can put £400 a month in with them, and they pay an interest of 6.25%, I believe. They do have a referral scheme on at the moment, and I have recently had a payment from them, so that means that someone else has taken advantage of that. So thank you for whoever that was. I'm hoping that you see this video, and I hope you also got your £50 too. That means I will have 3 referral codes left. I will put a link to that in the description notes if that is of interest to you, that you could take advantage of that and get £50 free from them, just for signing up to an account with them. I believe Nationwide, back to Nationwide, I believe they also have a switching, I don't think they've got a referral on, but I think if you switch to Nationwide, there may be a switch bonus. I'm not as familiar with that because obviously I'm with them, so I'm not thinking of switching to them, but I'm sure I saw something on Martin Lewis's website about a switch bonus. So worth checking out if you are thinking of moving across to them. So yeah, so my emergency fund is with Lloyds. I don't believe there is a penalty if you withdraw from them. And obviously it is like an instant access savings account. So I thought I'd put my emergency fund there. At the moment it's at £1,000. I do plan on upping it, but I think I need to focus on a few sinking funds for the moment, and also my debt, which I'll come on to shortly. I will be building that up. I do want to get it to at least a month's worth of expenses. Should my partner or I, or both of us, lose our jobs, then I'm hoping that I can get a fund built up that would cover us. Back to the rest of the sinking fund. Sorry, I told you I was all over the place. So in Monzo, like I said, I've got a £200 dentist sinking fund. I had some money set aside for my car MOT. I think I put £120 aside. I've actually moved that now into my car sinking fund. So I put £30 in there just to have something in there. That's now got £90. I'm not sure how much tyres and brakes will cost, if I'm perfectly honest. Last time I bought tyres, I think for 2, it was around £240-ish. That's just from memory. And I think if it's just brake pads that I need, then that's hopefully not too expensive. I think that's around £40-ish. I don't have a particularly fancy car. I mean, it's not fancy at all, but it's not. I won't put a picture of my own car, but I will put like a picture if I Google one. I'll put it up there so you can see. It's a Hyundai i20. It gets me from A to B. It has everything that I need currently, so I would like to get a new car. Obviously, you can see my financial situation. That's not on the cards for me at the moment, but I do need to seriously think about putting some money aside for a new car. And I say new car, I mean new to me car. I wouldn't buy a brand new car. I'll get something secondhand. I don't know what that will be yet. I need to save up and see how far I get before my car completely dies. I have started a sinking fund for birthdays. I am quite fortunate that I don't have anyone in my family or close to me that has a birthday until July, so I've got a while to put some money into this. So at the moment I've got £10 in there, and I don't go overboard on people's birthdays. Like, I just need enough to buy them a card and like either take them out for a meal or buy like a present for them. The person that I'll probably spend the most on would be my partner. I'm not sure what we'll do for his birthday yet. Like I said, his birthday's not, he's actually the first one. He's not till July, so I've got a while to save for that one. I have started a holiday sinking fund. My partner is desperate to go away somewhere on holiday. He has mentioned to me to go to Switzerland. If anyone's ever been to Lucerne. We were looking at flights, and you could get, for both of us, I think, return flights. I think we were looking at about £120. And then we were looking at probably like a cheapish hotel or Airbnb, which I think was around £400 for 4 or 5 nights. And then it would just be, he'd rather spend the money on doing activities. He wants, I'm not doing this. I'm telling you now, I'm not doing this. He wants to, I don't know, it's paragliding off of like a big mountain in that area. I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, I remember a few years ago, this video kept popping up, but it was like where you go on the like carts through like the forest. It's like it looks like a little cart that's on like a roller coaster track. I think they do that there as well. So yeah, that might be somewhere that we go to. So I've put £100 in there. I do have, I'm just looking up over there because I can see it. I do have Cube that I had been saving some cash into. I'm not sure how much is in there. I haven't broken it open. But that will probably be spending money. If anyone's ever been to Switzerland and knows how much I'd need in the way of spending money for food, then please do let me know. And I know that you'll probably say, you're in debt, why are you going on holiday? Yeah, you're right. But I'll get onto my debt payment shortly, and you'll see I have made quite a bit of progress with it. And we're thinking of going on holiday, not yet, it'll be in a fair few months' time, so we've got a while to save. And then finally, I have got a bathroom sinking fund. And I've put £30 in there. It is just a bit of a, I don't know, I might take that out. That might end up going on a debt payoff or something. I did tell you in a previous video that I've already bought the sink unit and a mirror. We need to buy a toilet. I keep getting vouchers from B&Q, like with quite a lot of discount or money off. Yeah, I could buy a toilet fairly cheaply. The bath is probably going to be the expense. We don't need a new shower unit at the moment. And then I was thinking about this the other day. We have got like a big immersion tank, which is like our hot water heater thing. And it is old. Like when I had the survey done, that was one of the things that was recommended to be replaced like as soon as possible. And I think we've been lucky so far that we've lived here 2 and a bit years now, and it's managed to keep going. And I think when I looked it up back then, I think we're talking like £1,000 to £2,000 for a new one. And I'm quite fortunate that we have got people in our lives that either my partner or one of his friends would probably be able to help replace that. So we might not really have labour fees. It would just be a case of getting something new to replace it. So yeah, I think it's about £1,000 to £2,000 for a new one. So that will need to be included in the bathroom fund. And I think I said I was thinking about £3,000. I haven't worked it all out, but I'm thinking that a new immersion heater for sure. I mean, a toilet, not even £100. And the bath, I think we worked out that's £500 for everything, for all the fixtures and fittings. And then it would just be flooring, tiling and plastering. So my partner's happy to fit the floor and do the tiling. He doesn't want to do plastering because he says it's a skill. Anyone that knows anything about plastering, you'll probably say the same thing. which is fair enough. So I don't know how much it would be to pay for that, but yeah, it's in the background of my mind. So once the dentist is out the way, I can start putting a bit more into that. And I did have sinking funds set up for things like appliances in the kitchen, because I do think, oh my god, what happens if something goes? Like I said, we've lived here two and a bit years now, and the first year that we were here, I mean, this is like the appliances that you could probably do without. The tumble dryer stopped working, and we'd replaced the belt on it already. It was about 5 or 6 years old, maybe older actually, come to think of it. And it just wasn't worth replacing that part. It was a tumble dryer that had like a recall on it because of the belt, which we'd already had replaced. Yeah, it just wasn't worth doing. So we bought a new one. We bought one of those, what are they called? It's like a heat pump one. And it was fairly expensive. We got like, we'd gone from like an 8 kilogram to a 10 kilogram tumble dryer. So can fit a lot more into it. Sorry, that's Rusty, my kitten, in case you haven't seen him before. So yeah, that tumble dryer went first year, and then the second year, and I remember it was these both things happened around Christmas. Our dishwasher stopped working again. That was something to do with the pump that wasn't pumping the water away. So every time we used the dishwasher, there was just like water in the bottom of it constantly, and it wouldn't pump. And my boyfriend did look into that, and it wasn't like there wasn't anything stuck in the pump. He did clear it out, and it just still wasn't working. So yeah, we bought, in the same range, we bought a new dishwasher. But like I said, those were like probably the 2 appliances you can do without. The fridge, freezer, the washing machine and the cooker, my boyfriend came with those, and we've been together, this is our 6th year, and I don't know when he purchased those, but he came with those, if you like, and they came to this house. So at some stage we will need to buy cooker, washing machine and fridge, freezer, and they're not cheap appliances, and really you can't do without those very well. I mean, we could probably get by without the cooker, and because you could use a slow cooker and microwave, but actually, in fact, on the cooker we've already replaced the element. It's one of those cookers where it's got the oven at the bottom, and then it has an oven at the top with a grill in. And yeah, so you can get away with just using one oven, can't you? You don't need a double one. And we don't use the top one for the oven. The top one is the grill. But when the element went, it went on the bottom oven section. I remember trying to use the oven in the top section, and it just isn't the same. I don't know if anyone else feels that way about if you've got a double oven, that is. I don't know if you feel that it doesn't work the same. That's how I felt. Like it just, I don't know whether it's because the bottom one's fan assisted, maybe the top one isn't, something like that. Sorry, I'm waffling now. Anyway, so yeah, I did think about setting one up, but I thought actually at the minute, if one of those appliances went, I feel like that would be an emergency, so I'd probably take the money from the emergency fund. Hopefully you agree with that, and I'd welcome your comments. If you don't think that's right, then please let me know. If you think I should set up a sinking fund, I'm absolutely happy to take any feedback. I'm very new to sinking funds, and if there's any other sinking funds that you could think of that I may need, please do let me know. So I think that's it for sinking funds. And then now I'll get on to some ways that I have made some extra money, or I've got extra money that is in the pipeline. So as you know, I've got a second job, and I do some additional cleaning there. So I do get roughly £200 a month from that additional job. Some other things that I've been doing, so like I had the referral or someone signing up to my Lloyds account, so that was £50. And I've recently signed up to Monzo, so I got £10 for that. I use a couple of apps. So I use Everup, so that is a cashback app, and someone has signed up to that, so thank you for that. In fact, 4 people have signed up, but only one of them so far has withdrawn some cash back, so I've only been paid £5 so far, but thank you for those that have signed up. That's really great. And since January I have got £30 and 4 pence in my Everup app. So basically, whenever I go food shopping, and I mostly food shop at Aldi and Morrison's, you can get cash back, and you also get, I think they call it coins or tokens, and basically you can then spin a wheel using your tokens and you can get cash back that way. So I mean, it's built up quite a lot considering Aldi only pay the coins and tokens. I think one time I was lucky enough to get £5 from the spin, and mostly it's anything from like 3 pence to 25 pence I usually get per spin, but Aldi seem to pay out quite a lot of coins, so you get quite a lot of chances, quite a lot of goes at spinning. And it seems to be the only app that I found that does give you some sort of cash back from Aldi. I was using Jam Donut previously, and that's why I switched to Everup, because like I said, the majority of my food shop is done at Aldi, so that's why I use that one. And if Jam Donut have bought back cash back on Aldi, please do let me know, because I probably would have a look at that one again. I just found that they were just doing the thing where you go into like a draw and you might win a percentage or all of your food shop back, but I was never lucky enough to get anything. So but do let me know if you've had success with that, because I would be interested. I also use Topcashback, so mostly it's things like the pet food I buy off a company called Z Plus, and they're on Topcashback. But actually recently I signed up to, sorry ticks, talking about you, not giving you fuss. Recently I signed up through Topcashback. I signed up to some savings accounts with a company called Kahoot, and I think they're part of Santander, and that is now confirmed in my Topcashback app. So it tracked the cashback, and they've now confirmed that I've met the criteria, so I'm just waiting for that to be payable. So I think it's £25, or at the time it's £25 per account. I did look actually at the time of filming this, and they're still on there, but they have reduced the cashback that they pay, and that's £15 per account. It does seem that you can open both accounts, because that's what I've done, and they will pay you for both. And I believe all you have to do is sign up and put £1 in to the account. Sorry, the cats sometimes love each other and sometimes hate each other, so might have to pay attention to the situation of them sitting next to each other. Yeah, so I would recommend anyone to do that if you don't already have accounts with Kahoot. I don't have any Santander accounts, so I don't know whether if you're already a Santander customer, whether that would be applicable to you, but it was pretty simple to do. I signed up, you get an email with the account details, or you can wait to get them through the post. Actually, that's what I ended up doing. I had the account details sent to me through the post, and I didn't actually pay into it until I had those account details. I mean, I could have done it when it came through online. I don't know why I didn't, to be honest, but I signed up for them, and within a week later I'd funded them with £1 each, and yeah, I've got £50 now waiting to be payable. And in total I've actually got £178 and 31 pence in my Topcashback app. It's not payable yet, only about £20 of it is, where I've just built it up over time. And anytime I do any online shopping, I may have to stop the video because of these two. Anytime I do any online shopping, I do check Topcashback just to see if there is any brands on there that I'm particularly purchasing with. I did do a switch with my pension provider. That has tracked. It's not confirmed yet because my transfer hasn't gone through, but I think that was £95. That is also in there. But yeah, when that £178 is eventually payable, that will be super helpful, because obviously that is quite a lot. But it's become part of my habit now. Whenever I'm buying anything or whenever my partner's buying anything, always go to Topcashback first, see if they're on there. So he did a job recently and he got some parts from B&Q, and I think that's probably where the a good chunk of that has come through, or Screwfix or Toolstation, anything like that. So it soon, I mean, it might only be like a few pounds here and there, but it soon starts adding up. So we'll see how we get on with that one. And then finally, this is a new one to me, and it's an app called Free Cash. I do have, so I've got a referral link to Topcashback, Everup, and to this Free Cash. So I will put all of those in the description notes for you. So Free Cash is a new one to me, but and I didn't mention it before because I wanted to see if it actually worked. I have so far withdrawn around £30 from there, and I've got £21 pending at the moment. It is basically from what I can gather, it is mostly playing games on your phone. You download the game through the link that this Free Cash app has. You play the game, and I'll be honest, like, it might only be a few pence from each game, and you have to get to certain levels on the game. Like, some of them are puzzly games, it could be like solitaire, like Tetris type games, that sort of thing. Or one that has seemed to pay quite well for me has been Monopoly Go, if anyone's played that before. So if you have played the games, it might still track you downloading it and playing each day, but it might not count to, it pays you out a certain amount every level that you, or every few levels that you get to. And it has recently unlocked some surveys for me, so I've started to do a few surveys. I think that's where the money is starting to build up for me there. But like I said, I had already withdrawn £30-ish. I say ish because basically if you're in the UK, it lets you withdraw to Amazon, PayPal, or I think it's Google Pay. I've only done PayPal so far, but they then take a percentage of the fee, and they allow you to withdraw it in dollars, so you don't end up with, say, if you had, it shows me that I've got £21 in my account. It shows that I can withdraw $25, I'm going to say, and then it takes a percentage, so I think I'd end up getting paid $23 into my account, to my PayPal account, and then whatever that converts into in pounds. I do have a referral link for it. I think you have to meet a certain amount before you can withdraw, and I don't know the ins and outs of it yet. My boyfriend had actually signed up to this first, and I joined it based on his referral. And I had to meet £16 before I could withdraw, but his was 20, so it might just be hit and miss. And it says you set it when you join up, but I don't remember setting a limit. And then you get your cash back from the person that has been referred by you when they withdraw. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's just a few ways that I have tried to make something additional. I have shown you in a previous video that I was going to take my Silver Saver to the bank, and I have now done that. So hopefully you've seen that in my change tin I had £70.95. I'm going to move that into my bank account, and I will pay that off of my debt. So on the debt update, on my last video I told you that I had to make a payment of roughly £337 a month to pay off the debt before the interest-free period ends. So I had 14 months on this particular card, and it was a card that I found that I could transfer the debt to with no fee, and on 0% interest. So obviously I've got to pay it off within 14 months, otherwise the interest is going to be whacked on. So I think it was at £337. I told you it was £337, but I'd miscalculated. So let's just say that the debt, let me tell you, the debt had stood at, let me just get my calculator. So the debt was £4,818.60. So my payment should have been £344.19. Sorry, it's a big number. So I'm just rounding up. So £344.19. But I'm pleased to say that this month so far, I've managed to get the debt down to £3,400. So far I've made a payment of £1,418.60. Now, this isn't typical. I'm not going to be able to do that every month. And I'll explain where the majority of that has come from. Like I said, my partner had done a job. I bought some parts for him. He owed me for the parts. He's now paying me back for the parts. So quite a lot of that has come from that. He pays me £1,000 a month or so for his, he calls it his rent. He pays towards the bills. So he pays me £1,000. And he also owed me some money. So a lot of it has come from him, I must say. I think about £1,000 of it has come from him, we'll say. And the rest has come from me. So like I said, I've got my second job. I've not invested as much as I usually do. So I usually invest around £100, if not more, into my stocks and shares ISA. I've massively cut that back. I'm still paying into my lifetime ISA, so I pay £5 a week, and I have been thinking about stopping that for the moment, because the government, I think, are changing what they might be doing with the LISA. We haven't heard any more on it, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. And I've had my pay rise from work, so that's how I've managed to pay that so far. So my debt currently stands at £3,400. I am about to make a payment of £70, and well, I'll round it up to £71 because that's, yeah, silly. So if I take £71 off, we're at £3,329. And then if so we've got 13 months left to pay it. So if I divide by 13, that makes my new monthly payments I have to make £256. So I have brought down the monthly payment substantially just by making that big payment off of it. I'm hoping that when the Topcashback becomes payable, I'm not sure whether I'll take out the Everup money. I mean, it's only £30 at the moment. Let me know what you think, whether you think I should start withdrawing that. And the free cash, I'm just building basically there's a game that if you play it a certain amount of days in a row, it's going to pay me another £7. So I've got one more day to go. So that will go up. So I'm just waiting for that, and then I might withdraw that and then can pay more off the debt. But yeah, so far so good. But oh my god, imagine if I didn't have that debt. Imagine what I could have done with that. It's a shame, isn't it? And I know I need to stop thinking about that. Sorry, this has been quite a long video, but thank you if you have watched up to this far. If you haven't done already, please do consider subscribing. Sorry, I'm just refilming the ending of my video because I wanted to end on a final thought. Today, as I'm filming this, it is actually 24 years since my granddad passed away, and I think I've mentioned before, my great-gran and granddad, that is, brought me up with my mum, like, not an orphan, but my granddad had quite a lot of influence on my early life. He passed away when I was 11, and something that he used to say quite often, mind the cat, something that he used to say quite often was, never a lender nor a borrower be. And I know I've fallen into bad habits, but I am trying my best to live that way. And one thing that he did always do
was keep a record of everything that was spent. I always remember he had this big red book, and it was just like a 5-year diary or something, I think it said on the front. It was nothing fancy. And he used to just keep a record of everything that came in, everything that went out, and yeah, I think that's a good habit to get back into. So I haven't gone over my budget in this video, but it is something that I am doing in the background. I'm doing that. I probably will share with you probably for March, because now we're pretty much, by the time you're seeing this video, we'll be halfway through February. So unfortunately I hadn't had a chance to film my budget before the start of February, so it's kind of pointless now, but I am doing that in the background. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got this far, please leave me a like or a comment. If you've got this far in the video, maybe leave me, as it's Valentine's Day in this month, maybe leave me a little heart, whatever colour you want, from the emojis, in the comments. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you, bye.